You know how I live, guys, and you're my disciples. I think this. In most discipling times, they go well when we ask questions instead of making judgmental statements. Most discipling goes well when we talk truth, because Jesus does deal with the truth here. Most discipling times go well when we know each other's limits and respect that. Most discipling times go well when we talk about our mind, what we're thinking, and what's in our hearts, because that's what Jesus is dealing with here. He's trying to correct their thinking and help them understand their hearts. And most discipling times go well when we ourselves are living out the Christian life and setting a good example. Amen. That's not everything, but I don't think it'll do you too bad to consider those things in discipling time. Jesus did that, and their lives were transformed. James and John ended up being two of the most powerful apostles, and were used mightily by God, because Jesus was willing to engage them on a heart level. I must say, I am so grateful over the years, my 25 years as a Christian. I'm so grateful for those who have had the courage to tell me the truth. I'm so grateful to George Grimmer, who in 1986 asked me the question, why are you so proud? Some of you will think that's a harsh question. But to someone as proud as me, that wasn't harsh. You understand what I'm saying? I needed him to ask that question just like that. I thank Fred Scott for asking me whether I really wanted to be a disciple in 1989, 88, because I was on the verge of giving up. And I was all flim-flam, like, oh, I'm just a bit tired. He said, I think you're really struggling. Do you really want to be a disciple? I appreciate that question to save my soul. I appreciate Mark Temple asking me, what legacy do you want to leave with your life? I was drifting along, leaving no legacy. He sat me down in 1990. I said, what legacy do you want to leave? You're not living like you want to leave one. Changed my life. I'm so grateful for Chris McGrath, who sat me down one time and said, why are all your friends nice people? I'm just surrounded by nice people. I found it easy to get on with nice people. He said, if you know no one in your life that sharpens you, why? Changed my relationships, changed my life. I appreciate Mike Fontenot asking me a few years ago, what do you really want? We sat down and I was talking about all the things I didn't want, the things I didn't like in church, things I didn't like about direction, things I didn't like. And he said, Matt, when will you figure out what you do want? Good point. Sat me away and I prayed differently from that time on. I appreciate Penny sitting down with me one time a few years ago when our finances were a mess. And I finally sort of got the point, we got a budget together. Then after that was done, she sat me down and she said, Mark, it's great. When you get a conviction, you really go for it. And hidden within that kind was the, but you've waited so long for you to get a conviction. Began a journey in me of learning how to have conviction and be more decisive. I appreciate Archie Kendall helping me so much in my relationship with Fred. And said, why don't you get with Fred more often, your son? Why don't you hang out more? Oh, I'm busy, he's busy, He said, you don't, why is it you don't, come on, why don't you get, and I said, well, I'll be honest, I don't enjoy getting with him. Yeah, oh dear, I needed to repent. But it's his question that brought it to the front of my mind and my heart. You with me? Adrian helps me with conviction. Andrew Agarback helps me so much with joy. I can't believe how joyful he is after 3 hours sleep. I don't. There's something not quite human about it. I'm so refreshed by being around Mohan with his outward focus. Talks about his faith with everybody. I'm so refreshed by so many people here, in the past and the present, and I know will be in the future. I need those questions. I need those relationships. I know every person in this room does. Yes. Yeah. And some of us are enjoying it. You know, when I get to heaven, it was said, I read this in a book once. Someone said, when I get to heaven, here's what I'm going to do. What's the first thing you're going to do? Here's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to go find a person who helped me become a Christian and say, thank you. And then I'm going to go find a person to help them become a Christian and say, thank you. Then I'm going to find a person to help that person become a Christian and say, thank you. And he said, I'm going to spend the first 1,000 years in heaven thanking the whole chain all the way back to Noah or something. I don't know, just all the way back. brilliant. You know what I thought? A little variation on that about discipling. I'm going to go find the people who go ahead of me and are the ones who saved my soul as a Christian, who had those words, who said them. And if those people aren't there, because they didn't make it, at least I'm going to go and thank the Holy Spirit. So thank you for moving in that brother, in that sister's heart and mouth, to say what they said, to save my soul. Amen. We will move on briefly here. There are some things we repudiate. We repudiate control in discipling. We say no to abuse and no to neglect. We say no to fixing people, trying to. We say yes to knowing our limits. We will send people to professionals, to specialist help in counselling, medical matters and personality disorders and any other issue that is beyond our experience and expertise. It is okay to say, I don't know. But let's find strength in the scriptures and pray to them. There are many things we repudiate. And the next slide, there are also many things we affirm. And we say amen to. We will listen to each other. We will tell each other the truth. We will confront each other on sin. We will train one another. We will lovingly confront one another and be honest with each other. We produced a one-page handout which is on the newsletter today, which you can look at later. Please look at this on there. I'll lose you. Which has been agreed by all the members of the London Leadership Group in terms of our beliefs of the principles, the commands of the Bible, and how we want to practice discipling in the London Church at this time. The London Leadership Team's approved it as well, and it will form a skeleton, I hope, for healthy discipling to develop once again in the London Church. The practicals are on there. The practicals are non-scripture. As I said to the London Leadership Teams, this document is a draft. Every document man produces is a draft document. Even in its final form, it's a draft document. The only document that isn't a draft document is this. Right? So it's a draft document. It's what we'll do for now, and if we find a better way to do it, we'll do that instead. But we are going to get together with each other, and love is the motivation. Faith is the effective agent. Friendship is the glue. I want to say this. Friendship has to be there in all relationships. But friendship does not necessarily have to come first. Because I don't know how close Jesus was to his disciples before he called them, we don't know. But I do believe that friendship is the glue. And friendship grows as there is commitment to a relationship. Some of the best discipling I ever received was from people I didn't initially like. And I would never have chosen to be a discipling relationship with. You're wondering if I'm thinking about anybody I have. It's okay, Mama. We need to have relationships with people we don't naturally get along with. That stops the church developing into cliques and dividing on social, economic, educational, or racial lines. I am concerned that some of our groups appear to me to be becoming more white and more black. That's only an anecdotal observation I've seen in one or two places, but it concerns me that I see any of it. And I want to encourage us to make sure that we do not divide on any lines, that we form friendships across the boundaries of what we are used to or what we grew up with. I'm so inspired by the multinational nature of this congregation. And it needs to remain multinational, not just in this hall, but in each other's homes. Are you with me? We've got a long way to go. We're going to do two more things here today before we finish with a final song. One is this, and I believe that we have an exciting new generation coming up. Of singles and teens. And I'm thrilled by the way that I think that there's more and more cooperation around London making those ministries stronger and stronger. And as a representative of that, I've asked Priya and Angela to come and share her testimony with us today.
And I'm 16 years old. I'm a teen from the West Sector. I stand here because I'm going to share about my life. Jeremiah 29 verse 11 says, I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you.